Okay, so a little while back we told you guys that our water pump went out on our RV and we're finally getting around to replacing it. One thing that we've been doing during the colder months is actually unplugging the hose from our water source to prevent any issues that we might have at the spigot of freezing. A few weeks ago when we were at the Grand Design National Rally, we actually talked to the service people there about getting a new water pump, and they actually gave us one at a really low price. This is the exact model of water pump that came in our rig when we bought it, so I feel really confident that it's gonna fix our problem and we're not gonna have any issues putting this in because it is the exact same water pump.
Are you helping today, Callie dog? Nope, just naps.
Our bottom drawer and all of our drawers throughout our rig have these little clips on the side of them, and you actually have to move these clips up or down on either side, and they simply pull out from there. Okay, so I completely killed our power, and I know a lot of people are gonna say that you don't need to worry about it because it's a 12-volt system, but we would rather be safe than sorry. So I disconnected from Shoreline, I turned off our batteries, and while I was outside I went ahead and turned the water off at the spigot to help prevent any leaks from coming when I disconnect the water lines at the water pump. Yes, I am still rocking the mustache. While I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and take these other two drawers out so that we have a better view. You may not need to do this, but I have to have a way to get the camera in there, so I'm gonna take these top drawers off real quick. Okay, so this has a red stripe on it. It goes to your red wire. And then this white wire goes to the black wire because I guess that makes sense. So I'm just gonna cut these. I've got my power turned off, so I'm gonna cut both of these sides. There's one. Alright, there's two. I'm gonna move these out of the way in case I do get some water. And I'm gonna stick my towel in here because I know some water is gonna come out, and I'm gonna disconnect both these sides. I will mention that this is a small filter on this side of the water pump, and that needs to go on your new one. And once I get this off, I'm gonna clean it as well, and I'll show you that. So I'm just gonna disconnect both of these sides, and they should just be finger tight, so I shouldn't need any wrenches or anything. And they're finger tight. I'm gonna go real slow in case I do get some water. And I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other side here. This should be hand tight as well. Just watching for drips, and make sure that you take it off on this side of the water filter. Ah, that one didn't have any water in it. All right, so my wires are cut, and I have my water lines off. So all that's left to do is to take these screws out. There's 4 screws in this, and I'm just gonna get in here and get those screws out. There, we're free. There we go, out with the old. I think I'll clean up this little bit of water that's left here and vacuum this out real quick. Alright, so I got the old water pump off, but before I put the new one on, I'm going to take off this filter. I'm actually going to rinse it off in the sink and the pole barn to make sure it's cleaned out. There's just like a little trap in here that needs cleaned out every so often, and then I can remove this whole piece and put it on the new one. New one. And I'm going to take this trap. It's like a filter trap. Okay, I'm gonna take this off. Using this as reference, sitting this way, take this cap off, old filter on, new pump. Now that's on there. I'm gonna set this back in place of the old one to make sure that my wires are long enough and I can get the plumbing on there. And it has water in it? Maybe they tested it at the factory.
Or we got a used one. Maybe that's why we got it so cheap.
I hope not. Okay, I have the wires coming from the camper, stripped. They're ready to go. I'm gonna set the new pump right where the old one sat. And I'm gonna get these wires installed. Okay, I got it all wired up, so I'm gonna go turn the battery power on real quick and make sure that I have power to this. So I'm just gonna rehook the water lines up and actually need to fill up the fresh tank before we run it and make sure it's working right. I would just make sure that you hand tighten these as well instead of using a wrench, because if they're on there tight enough, they won't leak and you won't have to worry about damaging the plastic.
All right, moment of truth. Hey! You can hear it. Woo!
Get some air in the lines, but it's working.
Hey,
Okay.
good job.
Whew. We have running water again. Okay, so it seems to be running. I'm gonna make sure that there's no leaks at the pump, and then I think I'm gonna screw it down to the floor and we should be ready to go, right?
Woo woo.
Whoop whoop. So I'm going to attempt to reuse the same holes just because it doesn't really have much of a gap in there where I can put it. So I guess I'll start on the other side there because those are the most difficult ones to get to. There you go, I guess. Just put the drawers back in. I think we're good to go, aren't we?
Ooh, don't ask me. You were the pro in this.
Did I miss anything?
I don't know. We'll find out one way or another, I guess.
I could not get the vacuum in there very well to clean it real good, but oh well.
Cleaner than it was a few hours ago.
Okay.
Good job.
Good job, good.
I didn't do anything.
Way to hold the camera.
There we go. All right, while Mike is putting the drawers back in here, I thought I'd talk a little bit about why the water pump is important. So normal day to day, if we are hooked up to water, we don't touch the water pump. We don't use it, it's no big deal. When we use it is when we're boondocking or when we don't have water connection. So when you're hooked up to a hose from a spigot, so hooked up to a water connection, the pressure from the hose pumps the water through your whole camper. But if you don't have a water connection, so you're not hooked up to a hose from a water source, you fill your fresh tank. And when you fill your fresh tank, you have to have a pump to pump that water into your line so that you can take showers, you can flush your toilet, you can run sink water. So ours went out right before the Grand Design National Rally. Like Mike said, we got a great price on a new pump. So while we're here at my parents', we have water connection, but in the wintertime, those hoses tend to freeze. So we have found it's easier for us in the wintertime just to use our fresh tank and a water pump to use the water inside of our camper. Honestly, it was a pretty easy fix. I think it's difficult because it's in a smaller space and we want to be able to show you guys what we're doing, and it's a little tricky to get a camera in underneath there.
If you guys have replaced your own water pump, let us know your tips, your tricks, and some people like to upgrade their water pump as well for something that has a little more PSI in the lines, and let us know if you have done that yourselves.